Does Genesis 1 really say that God made creation out of nothing? Hi, I'm Bryn Jocelyn, a Bible nerd trying to better understand my Bible and help others do the same. And there are a couple of ways we can look at this. The first is the passage itself. To refresh our memories, Genesis 1 verses 1 to 2 says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." And so most people read this sequentially. Verse 1 says God created the earth. And then verse 2 is the next step. Now that it's made, the earth is without form and void. But scholars are increasingly arguing that this passage isn't sequential, but that verse 1 is temporal. It sets up the time period that is being talked about, God creating the heavens and the earth. And then verse 2 and onward goes on to describe how God created the heavens and the earth. For example, I might say, I bought a car recently. I found one I liked, I drove an hour to pick it up, only to find that it had already been sold, so then I looked around for a different one. No one would argue that I'm talking sequentially, that I bought a car and then I found one that I liked and then I went to get it. When I say I bought a car recently, that's me setting up the time or the story that I'm talking about, and then everything afterwards is me unpacking the story. This is why the NRSV translates Genesis 1:1 as "in the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth." So in this reading, the earth already existed, but it was just formless and void. It was a lump of clay with no shape or purpose. This makes more sense when we understand how the ancient Israelites understood creation. Remember, the Bible is a collection of writings from ancient people written to ancient people, who all thought in ways different to how we think today. For example, when we think of creation, we often think about creating something new that previously didn't exist. When an ancient Israelite thinks about creation, they think about taking something that already existed and giving it shape and purpose. So if I was to make a chair, I might think, great, I didn't have a chair, and now I do. An ancient Israelite would think, I'm taking this lump of wood and shaping it for a purpose to be a chair. This is in part because ancient Israelites didn't seem to have a concept of nothing, at least not in the same way that we do. If you said to an ancient Israelite that God made the universe out of nothing, they would look at you blankly. For them, Genesis 1 is about God taking the raw materials of the earth, of chaos, and bringing his order and beauty to it. That's not to say that you can't say that God created the universe out of nothing. It's just saying that that's not what Genesis 1 is trying to say. If you want to read more about this, you can check out The Lost World of Genesis 1 by John H. Walton.